Hi, good morning, everybody. It is National Nudist Day. Now, I do have clothes on, but here's a fun little thing we're gonna do. The first person that can find the timestamp and put the timestamp in the comments of where I appear nude in this video, I will pin your comment to the top. Yes, good luck trying to find it. Everybody, Crafting Journey here, that journey chick on Instagram. Don't forget to tune in on Instagram. Yesterday I watercolored a Chinese hibiscus. Yes, did you recognize it? I will put the link to the video where I painted this. So today we're just gonna mess around. I got a new paint palette, so I'm gonna mess around with that. But welcome to the show, another edition of Crafting and Crime. Don't forget to hit the like button. He keeps bugging me for his own paint palette, and I'm like, no, you're not ready for that. He did run the vacuum yesterday. Did I mention that? So please make sure you subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and don't forget the notification bell. Hit all so you don't miss a single episode of Crafting and Crime Daily. I got a good one for you today, but first let's open the new paint palette. A watercolor paint set, 48 colors by Artistro. So last night in the live, I swatched them out. Some beautiful pigment in these colors. Now down below it has, the last row, it has some metallics and some fluorescence. And they're very translucent, so it's hard to see. There's the metallics. Here are the fluorescents. But look at the nice pigment we're getting over here. Look at these beautiful colors. Yeah. So I thought today we'd play around. You know, I love flowers. I love flowers. And it has the thing so you know which colors. Yeah. Which, it doesn't matter to me. I just look and see. Whatever I like, I just, you know, I go with it. It doesn't matter what color it is. Like what the name of the color is. Right? Right. Okay. And I love this tin that it comes in. Oh my gosh. So pretty. And this is, it is brought to you by this local family. Here they are. And they say, thank you for your purchase and supporting our small family business. And what a cute family. Oh my gosh. So they said, we would love to see your artworks or unpacking video. I'll have to send it to them. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know why these scissors are here. Oh, another scorching day yesterday. 100 degrees, over 100 degrees. My car said 100. Mm-hmm. Okay, now it came with these little 10 sheets of this watercolor paper, so we're gonna play around with it. Make us some flowers. I've switched to iced coffee because it's too hot for hot coffee. Yep, today is National Nudist Day. Woohoo! I'm afraid that I would opt out of that because my body's not in the greatest shape. Although most nudists, they're not in the greatest shape. They just come to grips with how they look, the wrinkles, the sags, the bags. I don't know. I'd have to come to grips with it myself. I look much better with clothes on, trust me. It's an ugly naked. Really an ugly naked, so yeah. But today's the day. If you want to go nude, go nude. Just make sure you check your ordinances in your town so you don't get arrested. Like, I don't want to see that any of my subscribers were arrested, you know, for going nude somewhere. All right, I need a paintbrush. Yes, I need where's my favorite one? Where are you hiding? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Is that the one? Yeah, 1/4-inch dagger. I like this one. This is Art for Joy's Sake set by Christy Rice. In case you haven't figured it out, I like Christy Rice. So she calls this the 1/4 inch dagger. She has names for her brushes. This little palette came with the paints. Oh, I really should. I'm going to make a flower and then I'm going to put some metallic in it. Oh, my sister wanted me to. I could do that first. She wanted me to put some metallic into this one, and I could do that. All right, let's spray down the. So last night it was so hot. I'm trying to watercolor, and the palette kept drying out super fast because it was so hot. Yeah. All right. Crafting and crime. What happened yesterday? So yesterday, the entire day was devoted to the interrogation of Kevin Eastman, which I'm like, whoa, I can't wait to see that. First of all, let me tell you that the man has gained some weight, serious weight. The person sitting at the defendant table does not look anything like the guy on the film. The guy in the film, is I'm not going to say skinny, but I mean, he's like a normal weight. Doesn't look anything like the Kevin Eastman we're seeing, the big portly Kevin Eastman that's sitting at the table. So they must be feeding him awfully good in jail, right? He's not in prison yet. He's just in jail. So food must be good, right? Okay. We're going to do metallic, right? Is that what I said? Yes, that's what you said, Rebecca. Let's do a different brush for the metallic because I just want to wash it. Just want to wash it with the metallic. Let's do this one. Which one do I want? The copper, the bronze, the silver, the gold. We're going to use the gold. We're going to use the gold. Let's see. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, I just wanted it in the middle. Oh, that's nice. Okay. So it's not a lot. I just wanted to add it into the middle. Okay, well. Moving on. Okay. So, the interrogation of Kevin Eastman. So first they put the detective on the stand who kind of walked us through the investigation, like how it is that he ended up with Kevin Eastman as a suspect. So first they find the body. We know the snowplow guy found the body of Scott Sessions, the musician, played the trumpet in the Movers and the Shakers. They find his body in a very remote area called Pingree Park, like way up north of any of the other things that are going on in this case. They find it and it's snowing and it's just, a horrible way to have to process a crime scene. But anyway, so this is where they find it and he has been burned. So they later find Scott Sessions' vehicle in the King's Super parking lot. Now, I don't know what a King's Super is. I'm assuming it's a grocery store that they have over in Colorado. Then they obtained Scott Sessions' social media. And they were able to see on that he had been communicating via Facebook Messenger with Heather Frank, and that they had planned a meeting on the 8th at her home. So then they did a background check on Heather Frank to find out any of the known associates of Heather Frank. And this is when they came up with Kevin Eastman, who is her on-again, off-again boyfriend. Let's put some paint down here. All right, we're just going to pick a color because they're all beautiful. I just love blue. I do. So then they obtain the phone records for Heather Frank, Kevin Eastman, and Scott Sessions. And they find out that all three of them pinged at the very same location on the 8th and were there all night on the 8th. So this is when they pin Kevin Eastman as a suspect. Don't ask me what I'm doing. I am just playing around here. Whatever it turns out to be, it will be. I make up my own flowers. How's that? Yep. Why not, right? Why not? Let's drop in some orange here. Right here in the middle. Let it kind of bleed through. That's too much. Too much. I got to work on my water to paint ratio. Sometimes I get that messed up. They decide they're going to put a tracking device on Heather Frank's vehicle and Kevin Eastman's vehicle. Now they're watching him for several days with this tracking device. Where does he go? Where does she go? Now they know from the phone records that both Heather and Kevin on the 9th. Now we know that Scott Sessions comes over the night of the 8th. He's there all night. The morning of the 9th, Heather and Kevin travel north to the Penley Park area together. At least their phones do. The police also place a camera on a utility pole so they can see them coming and going. Now, on the morning of February 16th, so we're fast forwarding, if you recall some of the testimony from yesterday, the 15th is quite a busy night at Mr. Bonnell's home. We know that Kevin Eastman came over there. He was there till about midnight. Then he leaves. Then we know that the girlfriend was there with Troy Bonnell till about 4 a.m. Then we know that Kevin Eastman comes back around 6 a.m. Now, during the interrogation, he tells them he was working, he was burning trash, household trash in the wood pile. There's a wood pile and then there's a burn pit. He was burning household trash in burn pit that morning. That's why he was there. But he leaves and he goes to a gas station, and it's at this gas station where he is arrested. Turns out he had a warrant for domestic violence out of Denver, so they arrested him. And then we get the interrogation. So I need a larger brush now. I want a large brush. What do I want? I want to go with the 1/2-inch dagger. Where is it? Where's my 1/2-inch dagger? It's not here. Where is it? Must be in the kitchen. I did use it yesterday. So, what should we use instead? I don't like these larger brushes. Yeah, they're just here for decoration. All right. I think we'll go with this one. No, that's kind of large. I don't know. All right. Well. What? Why are we meowing? All right, we're going to go with this one. So he says that, he was in need of a job. He contacted Troy Bonnell. Troy Bonnell offered him $500 a week with free room and board to assist him in repairing his vehicles. So he took him up on that. Although he never stayed there. He always stayed with Heather Frank. they ask him, what were you doing this morning? Where, when you left, we know you were at Troy Bonnell's house. Where did you go when you left? And he's like, oh, I've been really melancholy and depressed. So I was just driving around. Okay. They're like, where did you go? And he's like, just places I've been in the past when I, used to drive. And they're like, well, we know that's not true. We know where you went. He admitted that he has been drinking, that he's off his medications. He claims to have dissociation disorder, which is another fancy term for multiple personalities. And guys, I'm not kidding. I believe him. I really do, because at times we were seeing different personalities from him. Sometimes he was sobbing. Sometimes he was defiant. Yeah, it was kind of weird. I have no idea what I'm doing here. Just playing around. Now they ask him, hey, where's Heather? So now I'm going to preface this by saying, at this point, they haven't found Heather. This is the morning of the 16th. These investigators are called in. They're investigating the murder of Scott Sessions. He's pulled in for that warrant, and they're supposed to be questioning him about Scott Sessions. They don't know yet that Heather will be found later on that afternoon. So they're asking him, hey, where's Heather? Oh, she's at work. So several times during the interview, he would say, I think you need to ask Heather these questions. And for most of the interview, he kept saying he had promised somebody he couldn't tell anything. He wouldn't say anything, and he had to keep his promise. And they kept saying, who did you promise? And he wouldn't say. This crazy cat. He would not say. What's the matter? What's the matter, kitty kitty? Yeah? What's wrong? You want to come up? What's the matter? He wanted outside. I have closed his window because I was tired of the bugs coming in. So he describes that the night of the 8th, he asked her to marry him, and she said, no, I can't marry you. Then she tells him she's got a date that night, and he has to leave. So he says he left. At one point, I think he said he came back and he was on the porch. I'm not sure about that. He said he felt very deflated, like a worthless pile of shit when she did that to him. I'm sure it hit him pretty hard. Now, the detective says, you smell like gasoline. Why do you smell like gasoline? And he says that, he had been burning leaves that morning in household trash out at Troy Bonnell's place. Now, here's the interesting part. Heather told him that the first time she gets together with Scott Sessions, she said no, and he continued on and raped her. What? Oh my God. And then he kept saying, don't tell her I said anything. Don't tell her I said anything. So he's kind of acting like she's still alive. We know he knows she's dead. The detectives don't know she's dead. He said he was assaulted as a little kid by his uncle. Now they ask him, where did you and Heather go the morning of the 9th? We know you were there all night on the 8th. Don't tell us that you left. We know that you were there. We know all three of you were there the entire night, and that you and Heather drove off the next morning towards Pingree Park. Where did you go? So then he says he went to this restaurant. And they're like, well, can you prove that you were at this restaurant? He's like, yeah, there was a new waitress. I don't remember what she looked like, but You know, so they go on a break and they call the restaurant and they're like, no, there was a snowstorm that day. There was only 2 or 3 people in the restaurant and they weren't one of them. They drove in a snowstorm to go to a restaurant? I don't think so. That makes no sense. None. He kept saying he doesn't know anyone named Scott. Who's Scott? At one point, he says, just ask Heather. Whatever she says, I'll agree with her. I'll agree with her. Whatever she says. At this point, I'm wondering, did Heather do something to this guy and he's covering up? And the detectives ask him, are you covering for her? Are you protecting her? What did she do to him? So at one point he said, it was a mess. Everything was a mess. And they're like, well, what was a mess? What? He's like, I kept retching. He says, I don't do well with blood, you know. And so now they know it's blood. He said, I kept retching in the sink, and they're like a couple of times, like, no, like 20 times. He said it was a large amount of blood. He wouldn't describe the injury. I mean, that's really all he would say about it. They kept pushing him for more, and he would shut down and say, you need to ask Heather. So they go for this long lunch break. They bring him, I don't know, looked like McDonald's and a soda. And he sits there and he's on his knees and he's praying and he's drawing on the chalkboard trying to figure something out. And I thought, oh, I hope he leaves that there so he can explain what he's doing, but he erases it. So I don't know what he was mumbling and drawing something. And they come back in and the interrogation continues. And at this point, now the detectives know Heather's dead, and they tell him that. But he thinks that they're kidding, he's like, that's really cruel. Why would you say something like that? That's horrible. She's not dead. Like, he thought it was a tactic they were using to get him to talk. And they're like, no, she's really dead. We found her in the wood pile on Troy Bonnell's property. And he starts sobbing. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. The detective says there were no tears coming out of his eyes during this sobbing fest. He said, they're like, why can't you tell us? He's like, my brain is protecting itself. I just can't remember any of this. And then they ask him, where was he hurt? You know, Scott Sessions was hurt. There was blood. Where was he hurt? And his answer was, it had to be someplace serious for that much fucking blood. So we know he was there. We know he knows what happened. So either he did it or Heather did it. And they took his body the next day up to Pingree Park in a snowstorm and put him in a woodpile and burned him. Then at one point he's sitting there going, everywhere, 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 everywhere. I'm thinking, is this another personality coming out? What's going on? And then he gets really defiant. Why would you say that she's dead? That's a horrible thing for you guys to be saying. And they're like, no, she's really dead. She can't be dead. You guys are just saying that. No, she's really dead. So at this point, I'm thinking, does Troy Bonnell have more to do with this than we think? I don't know. There's so many questions that we don't have answers to. So many. Yeah. So I don't know what the testimony is going to be today. That'll be interesting. Each day it gets more and more interesting in this case. Let's make a big old flower, shall we? Ooh, let's do... Oh, what color? Oh, purple. We haven't done any purple. Let's go like this. Then we're going to drop in some of this color. there. Oh, that's pretty. Let's put a what happened this day in history? In 1966, a mass murder takes place. Now, today it happens all the time, but it was a little bit rare back in 1966. This man named Richard Speck, he was an alcoholic. He had been out drinking. He decides he's going to break in to the women's dorm at this hospital where these nurses are in training, but this is where they live. As he's entering, he takes 3 of the women hostage and he brings them to a room where there are 3 more women. So now he's got 6 hostages. And at some point during the night, 3 more women come home. Now he's got 9 hostages. Well, he loses count, and one of them hides under the bed, and she survives. One by one, he takes the women into another room and kills them. Some he stabbed, some he strangled. This guy was 25 years old, and he already had 20 arrests on his record. He had "Born to Raise Hell" tattooed on his arm. Now, the way he was able to control these women is as he got them into the room, he would tie them up. He tore strips of bed sheets, and he would tie them up. He assured the women that, "I'm just going to rob you, don't worry." The woman that was under the bed, she waits till 6 a.m. to be sure he's gone. Then she goes out, she opens a window, she's screaming out the window for help. Help comes. She assists the police in doing a sketch of Richard Speck. They were able to, this was placed in a local newspaper. They were able to identify him. They find him hiding out at $1-a-night hotel. $1 a night? What? Didn't know those things existed. He had slashed his wrists and left elbow in an attempt to commit suicide, which obviously did not work. He was identified by the woman who saw him and fingerprints that he left at the scene. He was convicted, sentenced to death, but when the Supreme Court abolished the death penalty, I think I talked about this a few weeks ago, they abolished it, but then a few years later they reinstated it. But at this point, they abolished it, so he was resentenced to 400 years in prison. They wanted to make darn sure he wasn't going anywhere. Died of a heart attack on December 5th, 1991. Hard to feel sorry for a guy like that, right? There's just certain people, man, that are just, wow, just wow. Look how that purple one turned out. I added a couple of different colors in there. I like to play with the flowers. Yes, I do. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's Thursday. There's no Thursday dance, but it's almost Friday. Yeah, almost. That is the show for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed Amazon Prime days, 2 days. Oh my gosh, I was able to help everybody get, we discovered during my live last night that there was a lightning deal for an A2 light pad, which is the size I use here, the A2. It's pretty much a very good size for the larger diamond paintings that people do. So we discovered this lightning deal for $45. These things usually run $60, $70. So people were leaving the live to go shop, which was funny. But anyway, I enjoy everybody's company. I will see you tomorrow morning in Crafting and Crime Daily. Who knows what's in store for us today with this trial. Take care, everybody. Bye.